Once again, thank you very much. As I mentioned in the beginning, time-based media for us means medias which work with time. It's quite obvious if we cross the border. We work with sound, image, computer generated images, video, arts, and recently all kind of processual art. So these pictures comes from live performances, 2 live performances from different places, from exhibitions that we made together with students. But this is a screen that we built up and made our students to create parts of the projection. It was screened in a gallery space in Prague. It was called 360 minutes, 360 seconds, 360 seconds, and we had about 10 students, so each one had an assignment to make 30 something. I mean, Makin was talking a lot about opportunities, about what you have to do to show yourself in public spaces, and how difficult it is in Hong Kong to get a space or possibility to show your work. This is something that we, of course, train with our students a lot, and we have to say, compared to Hong Kong, that there is a lot of spaces in the country, and we force and work with students almost every year on some type of exhibition. So this is just sort of, you can see that we are really doing it. This one is from a National Gallery in Prague. So there is a, if you really want to do it, you have a possibility, you can do it. So if this is something that you are interested in and you feel like you have something to show, you can come to our place and you can get there. Like Buddy can tell you later, maybe. That's another thing that we do with students. Projection mappings. This is one example of many. This is a public theater in Most, which is a city next to Ústí. So again, if we do projection mappings with students, it's a real thing. It's not just an exercise or practice. We make it all public, and we do the whole package. So there are speakers, and it's really large. Everybody has to make some part of the work. This is how it looks like when it's live. So these guys are controlling the projection that you saw before. It's actually a big fun. This is another thing, working together with other schools, cooperations. This one was made in one of old monasteries, I think. Yeah, it was in a gallery of Central Bohemia, which is old Baroque style, a huge complex of buildings. So again, interactions. This is a piece of one of our students using spatial installation with lasers, projections, and spatial sound. It's hard to see something. You can just see white lines and some dots there, but you can probably imagine that it is very, jak se to řekne, živý, to je, flashy, maybe. That's another type of projection mapping with interaction together made by our students. As we have so many historical buildings, this one is one of them, castle called Kachina. It's from like 18th, 19th century. So it's good to have so many opportunities that we can use for large stuff, because it's not only the thing that we do large things, but it's always fun because you have a group of students, they spend some time together and work together which comes back to this picture and comes to sound, which is one of very big parts of our practice. This one shows one part of series which we established together with Daniel. We call it Sound Reflections, and we are time to time we make evening where we either create some our work or represent some work, or we invite artists who are on the edge of sound and visual art. So this one is a remaking of John Cage's radio music from, I think, 60s, right? You makin will know that one. So you make it with students as a concert and or performance, or how you want to call it. And that one was based on radio receivers. I'll just talk a little bit about this because Makin was mentioning analog technology, right? So this is composition of John Cage for radios. You would not have musical notes, but you would get instructions with numbers. You might remember somewhere in grandmother's kitchen would be this old radio tuning with knobs, the stations, right? So John Cage would issue a list of numbers, times, and stations, positions, and you can create a composition according to this timeline. There's another one picture example from one of those series, which was jmenoval ten Reich of Pendulum Music from Steve Reich. You've heard about Steve Reich, right? Mm-hmm. So this is just basically based on feedback, loop feedback of microphone over speakers, right? There are very strict instructions on timing and on how you start it, and then you leave it run. And you have like four speakers and 4 mics, and each player has instruction exactly when they should start. So that you have the sound which moves through the space in a variety of frequencies. So that's another thing that we do with our students. Speaking about sound, this is, I think, bakalářská práce. Bachelor work. So of one of our students. This is a metal construction with little speakers on it. I think it's called granular synthesis or something like this. It's about 5 years ago. So it's about moving little granular pieces of sound within the space. Again, another type of research. You would see where visual art and sound art fuses together in an artwork. Variations of incomplete open cubes. Would somebody know who created this work, which is on the left on those pictures? No, it's visual art, and it's taken from notes of American sculptor Sol Levitt, right? It comes from like 60s, 70s. He just took a cube, right? And he basically draw all possible variations that you can have from a cube if you draw it like this. So you always drop one leg, or two legs, or three parts, and you have all variations. So our student took this sheet of Sol Levitt, the sculptor, and turned it into a sound cube. So he drew the same things into the sound cube. So you would have sound moving in all those directions according to this sheet. The cube was about 1 meter square, so not that big, not that expensive, easy.
The audience has to sit in the middle.
Yeah, you would stand in the middle, kind of. Yeah, so you can see, you can hear the sound moving around you, according to this sheet of Sol Levitt. Some more visual fun, of course. Students like a lot. Yeah. Music or sound performance together with sound. There are some pictures from most recent exhibition that we have with our students, which ended last Sunday. We just came in here. It was in a gallery in Prague, in the city center, and we were invited as a studio to show our recent works. So we selected different types of works to be shown there. On the white screen there is a generative composition. Again, there is a cube and there is a sound attracting or sound simulation drawn inside of a space. And behind are, let me show this guy and I'll come back to that one. There are two TVs and there you have videos on each one, on left and right. There will be pieces of a sand, like little sand is going from one screen to the other. It's like this, and you go through this in the middle. Could be called something like a sandwatches. We have those ancient watches, right?
Is this like one single student, or is it a group of
This is a group of students. It's about 10 works from 10 students. So there's a little sculpture behind, and there's projections there. Maybe just we will not show you the projection. The projection behind it takes more than 1 hour, and it is basically a documentation of a performance of one of the students who works with his voice. He does lots of like beatbox things and all those things which really develop and employ his voice himself. So he is there, this little guy, and on the back side you can see this giant machine which digs the coal from the ground. The area that we live in, around that, it's known for huge coal mining areas for the industry. So there is always lots of environmental talk, environmental issues. The countryside is in not good shape, a lot of noise and dust and stuff, and recultivations as well going on. It's a huge area though, and it's a complicated problem for many generations now. Anyways, this huge machine is there, and this guy is basically shouting towards this machine so that he sort of fights with his own voice, with the noise of the huge machinery. Okay, let's have a break now.